1051.
1051 is the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. Now, it seems like we've been on the West Coast the last couple of days.
Yeah, we had J-Rock up here.
J-Rock, we had The Game.
Yeah.
And now we have Glasses Malone.
Yeah.
What's up, homie?
I'm coolin', man. What's happening?
How's everything with you?
Everything is good. Everything is good. It's
Of course,
good.
you with the Mack 10 YMCMB clicking all that.
Yep. All that good stuff.
And they're finally about to put out Beach Cruisers.
Finally.
It's been like, what, 6 years?
4 now, really. I mean, to be honest, but it seemed like 8.
You're the only West Coast artist on YMCMB?
Nah, Tiger is too.
Oh, okay, Tiger's in the West Coast.
Tiger making all the noise, too.
So,
Yeah,
what's been the hold up on the album?
Not making a big enough hit record, straight up. Like, I had to make a big commercial record, top 80 or something, and I ain't been able to pull it off. They ain't understood what I've been on, so they decided to move past that and just let me put out albums and let people become a fan that way, old school, you know what I mean?
Well, the West Coast is different, though. I mean, the West Coast, like, you know, guys like yourself, Nipsey Hussle, y'all been making noise over there for a long time. And plus, you've been conditioning the people to buy your records, putting out projects with Mack 10.
Yeah.
So they just been waiting on the solo album. Why not?
Yeah, but you know, the business changed, man. The major labels, they want to do top 40, top big records, and then put your album out. They just scared, man. The business, everybody's scared. Everybody gunshot. They don't want to pull the trigger right now. So Birdman and them made some adjustments and did what they had to do. So it's coming out now, so I'm just ready to go from there.
How different is Beach Cruiser now than it was when you first had it?
Totally different. It's 3 different records, you know what I mean? The first one I did, I finished in 2008. Then I did another one in 2009, and this one right now. I started in 2010 and finished with a little sprinkle this year, you feel me?
Now, who's on this album?
Cash Money, Baby Wayne, Mack 10, Snoop, Nipsey, couple people, J-Rock, my little bro.
Now, we're doing this album and having so much influence, I guess, from YMCMB, because I see you out with them. I see you on tour with them. Was there anything different? Because the first time I met you, a long time ago when I first heard your projects, you were very, very lyrical.
Yeah.
And I told you before that, you know, the only problem with lyrics is a lot of times people don't get it.
No, I agree.
And by the time they get it, it might be too late. So you almost got to dumb down your lyrics a little bit. Did you have to do that? Because I see Wayne does that sometimes, where he almost dumbs down his lyrics.
Nah, I don't think I'm that dope. I ain't really had to dumb nothing down. I think more or less, like I agree with what you're saying. We just had this whole conversation about people being spectacles, and I'm not much of a spectacle. Like, I ain't much of a clown. You know, I ain't coming in. I don't got a whole bunch of face tats, arm tats. I ain't with none of that.
Right.
I ain't got all the fake chains or the real chains. I ain't doing none of that neither. So I don't become interested until I open my mouth.
Right.
So it got to be kind of dope when I'm opening my mouth. So nah, I ain't dumbing nothing down. I don't think I'm that dope anyway to where I'm not like somebody where you just don't have any idea what he talking about.
Right.
But I like to keep a certain level of lyricism in there. That way, it still become interesting when I'm opening my mouth.
When I first met you, you were real cool with Bishop Lamont, right?
That's my dog. Yeah.
Right. So y'all are still everything's.
Yeah. I mean, B ain't been on the scene as much, man. You know this whole, you know how this music industry do people. It just, you know what I mean, it make them kind of like. He had a baby, so he been handling his business with his kid. I ain't really seen him on the scene much, but
Right.
you know, we still conversate as much as we can. But that's still my
Because he
dog.
had some issues with Dr. Dre, and he was signed to Aftermath. He was writing for Dre, and then he got dropped because they said he leaked some record or something like that.
Nah, it's a little bit more complex. Honestly, man, Bishop was that type of person that had a dope hit record, and they stopped it. You know what I mean? Because they had bigger plans for Dre, and I respect the business, but it's hard when you're a new artist coming up and you trying to get your thing coming. Me, him, a lot of us came in the game at the same time, and for him to like have a hit record and everybody kind of put the brakes on it to do what else they was doing, and then still nothing happened, it is kind of crappy.
It was about to be a civil war in the West for 2 seconds because you had the young
bad.
guys like Glasses and Bishop going up against Dre and the Ice Cubes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad.
Glasses, you had an issue with Ice Cube for a hot second too.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't much of an issue because like they not to disrespect what they doing. I'm more of a fan in theirs, and I don't even look at them on the same level as I deal with myself. You know, we out in the streets every day. Like Charlotte came out there, we hanging out. You know what I mean? Still in the hood, we still doing the same things.
Bentley at Denny's.
Yeah, you feel
in
me?
the hood in Watts.
That's the same thing. Like for me every day. But Cube, it was more. I guess it was like, you know, you got somebody who you respected your whole life, and you know they didn't really give a, you know, about what we was doing. They didn't give a fuck about what we was doing at all. Straight up. So.
And sometimes it's a miscommunication because it's not like you speak to him directly.
Yeah.
It's just, I heard he said this, and then you respond to that. But it's not like, did you guys ever have a conversation with each other to resolve it?
We had one crazy. It was at actually Birdman was there. It was at the MTV. It was at a radio room. And it was in you know, at the Staples Center. They had this little radio room.
I saw you there.
Yeah, right there.
Right.
That was there, you feel me? And he was over there with his crew, and then Baby and them left, but it was me and my boy Pun, and we was over there, and his bodyguard is somebody from a neighborhood that's real familiar with my neighborhood. So they had been talking, so he kept saying stuff to me, saying Q wanted to holler. And I'm like, at this time, this is when me and Joe Buttons had talked, and that whole conversation got out. And I don't know, they just felt they wanted to talk to me. So finally I talked to him, and it was real simple. It wasn't even nothing deep, because it wasn't like nothing personal. I didn't call him out his name. I ain't disrespect him. I just talked about the experience I had when I met him, and it wasn't the favorable one that I thought I would when I met Ice Cube. But I mean, it was a simple conversation. It was more or less like, look, I ain't got no problem with what you're doing, man. I'm a fan of what you're doing. And I was like, man, what I look like dissing Ice Cube? You know, for a while it was gonna get funky to me on some street stuff, but never on no rap. Like, how can I diss Ice Cube? You know what I mean? Like,
you just paid homage to him with your new mixtape. You rapped over all Ice Cube beats.
Feel me? I just dropped the first joint, so I just like you said, it's just easy misunderstanding. But you know, everybody got too much pride, and we ain't nobody looking to turn nothing down where we from.
Now, what made you decide to join YMCMB?
It was simple. They were talking about getting money, selling drugs, and pretty much street stuff their whole career. And now Lil Wayne is doing it, and it's commercial. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, you know, everybody might don't take his gangbanging serious, but he is gangbanging out there, and he is influencing everybody. Yet radio is playing it. So if I'm on the same stuff, even though it might be a little bit more every day for me, who else better to get with than somebody that can make radio play that? Radio's playing everything. He talking about shooting people and everything. And radio playing it like it's a single. So I thought it wasn't a better person.
Has the label ever encouraged you to glorify like the gang culture for purposes of?
Honestly, nah, really. I mean, I ain't gonna say glorify, but you definitely hear Birdman understanding, like, he likes that. He likes when I do gangster stuff, and because I guess his biggest thing was like, you sound really different than everybody else talking about it. You can talk about it with a certain depth because he know I'm involved. So he likes that, but you know, they didn't try to have me make Apple, you know, radio a hit single, and I did some stuff with the Cataracts right before like a G6 got popping and all that. I did something with them, and it kind of took off, but I think people wasn't ready for that type of commercial stuff from me, you know what I mean? So I just decided I'm not finna do that. I'm gonna just keep it gangster.
How come Bloods and Crips can get along in the industry but not in the street?
But see, that's the biggest misconception. People do get along in the street.
Yeah, they do get along in the street.
Yeah, it's just a misunderstanding. I think that's funny. When I be on Twitter and Facebook, you get a lot of people, oh, how you mess with Baby and them and they Bloods? And it's like, what? First off, why would you say that? Part two, you know, why they had this misconception that it's Bloods against Crips. I've been gangbanging 16 years, you know what I mean, half of my life. Every beef we ever got into with, we've never got into it with Bloods. My neighborhood, 5 or 6 wars I've been in, we never got into it with Bloods ever. And J-Rock neighborhood 5 blocks from mine. But now, don't get me wrong, other people's neighborhood might have, and that's like, you know, it's simple. Like, we got into it with Crips my whole life. So
they fight each other?
In a heartbeat.
Why?
Because everybody does.
I mean, I don't know why I tell my big homies all the time, I don't even know why people is Crips or Bloods, because it ain't like y'all get along. Like, if you go to a Crip neighborhood, you be like, oh, where you from? This Crip. Oh, you want a sandwich? It ain't no love. It's still like, it's all hatred. You feel
It's
me?
not like a fraternity.
Nah, it's all hatred. And I think that's a misunderstanding. Like, it's Crips against Bloods. No, it's neighborhoods against neighborhoods. It's blocks and parks against streets. And it's wherever I'm from, wherever you from, but we got a problem, we're going to go at it. It's the same thing as New York.
Listen, I went to L.A. one time, and I went to some after party with Jay Electronica.
Yeah.
I did not know what neighborhood I was in. They were just like, yo, let's go to this after party. I get that J-Rock was with us.
Yeah.
It was a Hoover Crip neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not from LA. I don't know anything about what's going on. I'm in there. It started feeling a little weird. I was like, all right, it's time to bounce up out
Crips
here.
mad at you because you got red bottoms on your shoes?
Yeah, they was.
Now, the thing about LA is, you know, like, one thing I respect about when you come to especially the East Coast, everything out here is older.
Right.
You know, all of the foundations, the structures, the buildings is older. So when you go to the hood, like, I've been in nice town in Philly, you know, I'm finna shoot a video in Flatbush here. But like, I've been to some of the hoods, and like, you know when you in the ghetto.
Right.
Like I told Charlotte when he was out there, you don't know when you in the ghetto in
I
LA.
sure don't.
You be in Compton,
nice
and
houses.
Compton looks nice. You go out there and it's not like bad. It ain't Beverly Hills nice, but they got such strict codes, so you don't know when you're in the hood, and that's what get everybody, because you don't know where you at.
Like in New York, you know you in the projects.
Absolutely.
You see the project buildings. When you out there, you see the nice houses, the front lawn, the backyard.
Even the projects at home I'm from Watts. We got all the projects where I'm from. We got 4 of them. They not nothing compared to these projects. These projects is like, this hard living. I can see why everybody gonna kill each other here.
He's stupid. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about so many, I guess I want to say, gangs in the industry? Because you mentioned Baby and Wayne, and there's a lot of people that represent different colors, and they say they're part of a set and say they're part of a gang. But like you said, that's the thing that you live. That's how you grew up. And how do you feel when you look at somebody that claims it and really is not part of it?
In all fairness, I think they crazy. I mean, anybody that been in it know it ain't cool. This is the most ignorant thing I've ever been a part of, and still find myself being a part of to this day. But it's more like them as my homeboys. I grew up with them. I love them. So we stuck and we just united under the same moniker. But really, it's dumb because it ain't really built off of no type of. There's nothing good about it. It's like, I remember Bird was talking to me and he was like, well, you know, it's like 5 stars, love. I'm like, that ain't blooding, dog. Like blooding and cripping is mayhem. It's destruction. It ain't like. My homies didn't give me no advice on getting no job. They didn't help me get no resumes. It ain't no love. It ain't like, you know, you got some dudes that might look out for you when you're doing bad, but then later on, they're going to probably want a favor back, and it's going to end up being something that's going to cost you your, you know, that could cost you your livelihood. So I think it's a misconception of what all of it is. I think people think gangbanging is like family and stuff, and it's family like when you grew up with people like I grew up with them. My little homies, they might be 21 now, but these my little homies, I watched them rage. You know, I was the person that was walking them down the street, buying them stuff in the ice cream truck, slapping them in the head when they was a kid. My big homies raised me, so it's like we grew up together. I think people think it's really some type of organization or some type of like mafia, and it's not. It's like really just wild and crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially in LA now, everybody killing each other from the same hood.
Right.
So how are all these industry dudes getting in? Are they paying their way in? Because I know they're not getting jumped in.
You know what's funny? As much as a gangbanger is like this maniac, he's still a fan of music. So they embrace people. Like they embrace, like Wayne is really embraced by the neighborhood he pushing. And I don't think people understand that. Like in real life, they embrace him. Like they really like him. He's really been over there. They really call him they homie. They come around, they around. So it's like, it's hard. I hear people trying to dispute his gangster, but it's like, well, if the dudes that's been over there the whole time saying, yeah, this the little homie. When I first got signed there, my homie Turn was like, yeah, that's the little homie. I'ma holler at him. Holler at him, he called me. Wayne was like, real, oh man, the big homie got at me. It's like, at this point, you know, I mean, everybody from a gang got jumped on anyway. Like, you supposed to, but everybody haven't. Some of my homies was born onto the set. So it's like, it's hard to kind of like contest it, because, yeah, he don't got to do the same thing I might have had to do, but he's the biggest blood in existence to this day. Like, he's influenced more people to be gangbangers and everything else. And it's like, how you dispute it when you got the people from the neighborhood saying this is the homie.
Right.
That's actually not a good thing when you think about it.
That's horrible. But
I've influenced the most gangbangers.
Man, that's crazy.
That's not a good
and you
thing.
got to think about like how responsible everybody is for, like, that's why I say I'm with the right label. Because if the stuff he can make can get played, because this dude is, like somebody was saying, oh, Wayne is real commercial. Wayne is probably the most raunchiest person ever played on radio.
Right.
I would agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got somebody talking that raunchy about life, yet they're singles. Yet radio is, I mean, I was listening Right Above It, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't listen to much radio because I can hear what I want to hear. One thing I respect about East Coast radio, y'all got personality. Like, I could listen to y'all show where y'all talking with Lil Mama and she's crying and this is crazy. Or I could listen to Joe Budden's going to court. We don't got that at home. Our radio station is just radio, it's music.
Right.
It's like you know what I mean, the shows are not really catered to the people. So it's like we don't listen to it, but.
Salute the big boy, though.
Salute the big boy, because he is the last of a dying breed. You feel me? Like, it's like not really like that no more on the rest of it. No other shows is like that. But long story short, like I said, when I listen to what Wayne does, man, and I'm listening to Right Above It, it's like I'm listening to the chorus, and he's like, yeah, I don't bust back because I shoot first. I'm like, that radio playing that? It's like crazy. Like, they still play gangster rap. It's still the biggest genre because Lil Wayne is making it, and he's banging on the song, and he talking about violence, and they playing it.
Right. And he's on your album Beach Cruiser, right?
Yeah. And our stuff ain't even that raunchy. Right. I'm gonna have to get him on some raunchy stuff, man.
Well, the album is out. What is the album out?
August 30th.
August 30th. Make sure you get it. Glasses Malone.
Glasses Malone. By the way,
what?
Glasses Malone was definitely somehow involved in the whole Cat Stack scandal.
Well, you know what? I think that was like a more misunderstanding. I met her. She came to LA. She was shook. Like, she was like, she thought people was really gonna get at her. And she came to my video. I just made her feel, I didn't know her. So, like, I just made her feel comfortable. Like, I don't need no press. Like I say, you got people looking at her as an opportunity.
Right.
So they like, oh, they gonna do anything in the world to get press out of her. Like, I don't need her for nothing. So I just came. She had a good time and left.
Okay.
Did you smash?
Not even. I would never, no.
I would never.
Thank God.
Not like to disrespect her. It's just, there's just way too much going on with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too many bodies on that.
Yeah, I just like, well, that ain't a problem. It's just I like my personal
that's not
business.
a problem. That's not a problem to you?
Nah.
I keep telling you that.
You don't care how many guys a woman has been with. It's fine.
I mean, it depends if you're trying to marry her. Well, actually, not even that. If she cook or clean, you got to take what you can get in 2011.
Ain't nothing wrong with some seeds of vagina. The more bodies on the box,
She
the
knows
better.
what she doing.
Oh, man. Glasses Malone, the album, August 30th. Make sure you get it. It's the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1.